Now, you started writing in the pen and paper age, or the pencil and paper age in your case, but you transitioned to computers. And since then, digital technology has gotten more and more advanced, and there have been more changes. Are there any specialized apps or programs that you find yourself using that would be helpful for writers to know about? What is it that you use?
There are a whole bunch of special programs. I don't own any of them um, because usually I'm working with a Hollywood studio or a major New York publisher, and they are working with their program. So they share a Google Doc with me or they share the screen, and I'm working on whatever platform they're using. Because it doesn't matter what I buy, they will be using something else. If I buy Zoom, they'll be using Google Meeting. If I buy Google Meeting, they'll be using Zoom or, Intelligent Exchange or one of these proprietary ones. So anything I buy will be the wrong thing. So I save time and money by not buying anything. Um, because I'm a writer, I have to use Microsoft Word because that's become the industry standard. Warning to all of you, students or otherwise, Microsoft Word is not a page layout program. You can fake it by spacing and tabbing and so on, but never ever do that in a professional document because it will drive editors bananas when they find your Microsoft Word doc in which you've centered something because you learned on typewriters. So you've spaced your way across the page to put greatest story ever written by Ed Greenwood in the middle because they have to undo all that formatting and strip it out, and they will curse you in their heart of hearts, maybe directly to your face if you happen to be too close. So do not try and use Microsoft Word for page layout except to do school stuff, because in school stuff is usually simple enough. You're just trying to make the cover page look legible for whoever's reading. Whoever has to read 46 assignments. Haha. And by the way, do not use cute fonts that look like cursive handwriting or something, because again, the poor teacher has to read 36 of them, and the poor teacher is not going to regard you fondly when they're on assignment number 34 and it's yours and you decided to write it in red ink in a cursive typeface. They're just going to go, my eyes, who wrote this? So anyway, there are conventions for everyone you're working with, and you follow them. So in my case, I haven't had to use a particular specialty program and settle on it. I just use whatever they're using. There are quite a few of them that do flowcharts. Those lovely things. They can also do a genealogical family tree. King Richard the First, the Lionheart. Who did he marry? In his case, nobody. How many children did he have? In his case, nobody. Oh, but these nobles had all these children and they intermarried down here. So there are many programs that draw those beautifully. And the best thing to do when you're approached with a need for one of these programs is to look around and see what other people have done and what they're using. You can check online. Many people will be actually doing YouTube videos showing you as they work on something, and you look at it and go, oh, I sort of like that. Oh, that looks easy. Or, ooh, I don't like that, how way that looks. And you make your decision accordingly. So I don't use any special tech. There are some things. If you're writing Hollywood scripts, there are some. Save the Cat is one of the ones that is sold to the home user that formats stuff for Hollywood scripts in the right formats that they like and allows you to put layers of notes on it. But guess what? All the big screenwriters that I've worked with, we all learned on typewriters, so you can do it without. I wrote my first couple Hollywood scripts on typewriters. I carry a notebook in my pocket because although I own a cell phone, I do not own a smartphone. My phone is an old-fashioned flip phone. It makes and takes phone calls. And it's my emergency phone if the car breaks down in the middle of the Canadian wilds somewhere. So I can phone and say, hi, I need a tow. I can't even make her take texts on this phone. It's lovely. That's how I get all my work done. I don't live on a phone. I live on a computer and write instead. And I know there are people who um, live on their phones and they have grown up using their phones. I'm not one of them. And I will never suffer a power failure. I will never drop and break my phone and be unable to write the next sentence as long as my eyeballs work and there's enough light for me to see. And by the way, I have woken up in the middle of the night, rolled over, picked up a pencil from my bedside table and written on the bedside table because I know I left a pad on top of it and I can't see what I'm writing because it's pitch dark and I don't want to wake my wife. And guess what? In the morning, I look at the pad of paper and I can read what I wrote in the middle of the night. It hasn't been lost. So I'm old school just because I didn't see a reason to change. It's not that I'm a Luddite. I am a Luddite, but that isn't the reason. When it became advantageous to change what I used, I changed without any resistance. But there are some things that work actually better. I find that most people, their phones take over their lives. And as far as I'm concerned, I have used an Apple iPhone for a week when I was on assignment. And there were two really cool apps on it. Shazam, where you hold it up and somebody's playing music and you hold it up and the phone identifies the song. That was really cool. And there was another little app that turned it into a spirit level. So you put your phone sideways and it tells you whether the surface it's on is level or not with a little bubble, just like it. I thought, oh, those are really cool. And then, of course, like everybody else, I could make the phone turn into a flashlight by just putting on its white screen and going really bright. That was useful. Other than that, no need to use them. Because for me, I want to spend the time writing, or I want to spend the time hanging out with friends or family, living. I don't want to spend the time with my nose buried in the phone. I particularly don't want to spend it on the 401 driving at high speed in heavy traffic when the people around me are all checking their phones instead of driving.